At about noon on the ground in Hong Kong on a Saturday. For more on the situation, we're joined by a former journalist from Vancouver, a current resident of Hong Kong, MacMurchy. Cam, are you there?
I am here. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good.
Time anyway.
Yeah, hi. Good to talk to you.
Yes, yeah, you too.
Give us a sense of what's going on over the weekend there. Extraordinary pictures of citizens on citizens last night, and now what's the situation like?
Well, it has calmed down. I mean, in the morning, traditionally, we've seen all week. That's when the crowds are lightest. I'm actually in Admiralty now. I'm in the middle of the street here with several other people who are peacefully sitting on the sidewalk. There's tents set up here. But this, I mean, as you saw in the last report, this is not ground zero at the moment. That is over in Mongkok. I was out there last night. There was a lot of violence there last night. And a lot of that was about 1,000 people who approached there around noon, and it escalated throughout the day, as you saw in the last report. And today there's a real feeling, there's a real down feeling in Hong Kong that this was able to happen in Hong Kong. The idea of people being sent in, which is what many people here suspect, to antagonize the protesters is something that has actually been done in disputes elsewhere in mainland China. So that's one of the reasons they suspect that. And the second reason is after a major protest here on July 1st, there's always a rally every July 1st in Hong Kong. A few weeks after that, there was another anti-Occupy rally, and there was evidence of those protesters being paid. So that's what's really fanning the suspicions here of Hong Kong people about who those people were that disrupted the protest last night.
I'm a fairly regular visitor to Hong Kong. I have family over there. You live there. It's an amazing thing to see so many people on the street so vociferously protesting a movement that I just didn't think many Hong Kong residents had much concern over.
Yeah, you know, it's a remarkable thing. I mean, I also lived in mainland China before this, and there is a real cultural divide between mainland China and Hong Kong, and there's a lot of misunderstanding on the two sides. But Hong Kong has traditionally been free as a former crown colony of the British. There is a free press here. It is lively. People do have freedom of speech, and there are protests here all the time. But rarely does it become this big, and it is never blocked roads and caused this much inconvenience for residents. But they want to make their voice heard, and I got to tell you, it's very, very peaceful, especially walking through Central. We see over 100,000 people on some nights, and people are sitting down on the sidewalk. They're doing their homework, a lot of the students. Every few feet, there'll be someone passing out bananas or bottles of water and things like that. It's a real community that they've set up, and other people are walking by with trash bags, collecting trash and picking through and recycling. So it's quite a sight, especially considering that this protest is so decentralized. There is not one leader of this. It's the students that have really organized themselves, and they've been able to keep this going now for a week.
Give us a sense of what the press on the ground, excuse me, are saying about the exit strategy here. Where does this come to an end, and does it end in violence?
Well, that's what everybody is talking about, is what is the exit strategy here. I mean, Hong Kong is governed under one country, two systems, which means it's sort of left up to Hong Kong people to manage Hong Kong affairs. But at some point, people have to consider that is there a point at which the central government steps in, or the People's Liberation Army is deployed in the streets of Hong Kong, and that's what everyone fears. And it's not clear what the exit strategy is. That's probably why the protesters are still here, and why the government hasn't really taken any action yet. I mean, the other issue that's come up is that, you know, Hong Kong has a very strong police force, but a police officer was interviewed yesterday who said, you know, we cannot compete with this many protesters. The number of people on the streets badly outnumber the police officers, so they're unable to forcefully clear them out if it's just the police force that's tasked with doing that.
Now, while this is all going on, Cam, what's daily life in Hong Kong like? I mean, the city never stops. There's always commercial activity. The streets are always packed, and now they're packed for a different reason. Is it life as normal?
It is. Outside of the protest areas, I mean, I went for dinner in a restaurant last night, and a lot of the restaurants leave the news on, and people are watching, you know, videos, especially from Mongkok last night, of some of that violence. People are talking about it, but I mean, the stock market has been opening, you know, as it always does. Business is continuing. If you go, you know, even a block or two out of the protest sites, it's normal. People are out shopping. Mainland tourists are here doing their thing. So the city is functioning. And what's interesting about that is some major thoroughfares in the city have been shut down. And some people are saying that actually it's nicer like this because the air quality has improved and there's great walking walking paths all of a sudden in Hong Kong. So people are making use of these blocked off areas to go jogging in the morning and that kind of thing. So it's quite interesting how that's transpired.
Well, I did see a post you put. You walked from Wan Chai to Central on Connaught Road. I mean, that just the thought of that alone is amazing.
It's spectacular. Yeah, I mean, I'm standing here right now. Actually, I'm in Admiralty, right in the middle of Connaught Road, and it's just nice. It's very quiet. There's no buses, there's no trams, there's no honking, and it's just people lingering around and sort of looking after each other, and it's quite inspiring when looked at from that perspective.
All right, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for your time, Cam MacMurchy, a Hong Kong resident, local Vancouver guy for a long time. Nice to talk to you.
Great, thanks, Aaron.